and wants you to succeed. Many people say, well, que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Well, if it's meant for me, it'll happen. It's not true. It's not true. If it's good, it'll happen. If you allow it to happen, it'll happen. Some people just wait for God to do some things, and if they receive something good happens, they say, okay, it was meant for me to experience that. If it doesn't happen, well, I guess it wasn't meant for me to experience it. Well, even though it didn't happen, it may have been meant for you to experience it, but you didn't experience it because you didn't do the things, you did not do the things that you should have done to receive and experience it. And because you didn't do those things, it passed you by. Even though it was coming your way, but you didn't do certain things. Your consciousness wasn't where it should have been. You didn't speak the word for that thing. You were doubtful and ambiguous. And you were saying, well, if it's meant to happen, well, I guess it'll happen. No. We're talking about speaking the word. We're talking about claiming your good and not just saying, que sera, sera. We're talking about being definite. Accepting certain truths. In our scripture reading, you heard read from the Gospel of Luke. And Jesus is saying, even beginning in Luke 12, verse 22, he says, therefore I say to you, do not worry. We look at the outer things and we worry. Jesus is telling us over and over again, do not worry about your life, what you eat, nor the body, and so on, what you put on, and on and on. He said life is more than food and the body is more than clothing. He said, consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, yet neither do they toil nor spin. And I say to you, Solomon, in all his glory, was not arrayed like one of these. The lilies of the field, what this means is that they don't do a whole lot of things, they do a whole lot of work, yet and still they're beautiful and they grow. And they are expressing the beauty of God, even more so than Solomon. And then he goes on to say, and do not seek what you should eat or what you should drink, nor have an anxious mind. For all these things the nation of the world seek after, and your Father knows that you need these things. And your Father knows that you need these things. The book of Isaiah says, before they call, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear. So the universe, God, knows that which you desire and that which you need. And then Jesus tells us, once again, he says, do not fear. Don't worry, don't be anxious, don't be upset. Do not fear the outcome. Why? Because it is your Father's good pleasure. Your Father. We come back to Father. Jesus brought a new concept of God. And he changed all the concept of God being a God to be feared, but a God of love. And he says, God is our Father. He says, it's the Father's good pleasure. What does that mean? Good pleasure. Not just pleasure, but good pleasure. To give you the kingdom. So God, the universe, really, really, really wants you to express the kingdom of good, the kingdom of health, the kingdom of wholeness, the kingdom of abundance. It is for us to accept that understanding, to realize it and accept it for ourselves. Accept the truth that we can overcome any and everything that has held us back in the past. We are to accept the truth that we can go on in spite of whatever we may have lost. Accept the truth that we can regain that which we may have lost. Accept the truth, my friends, that we can go on and live a fulfilling and happy and prosperous life in spite of our mistakes, in spite of our seeming failures, in spite of the changes that have taken place around us. When life moves your cheese, find your cheese. Declare and affirm that failure is not an option. You only lose when you give up. But if you persist and declare and affirm that failure is not an option, then, my friends, you will indeed experience the type of life that you were created to live. We are to listen to the still, small voice of God within us and know that we will always be guided into right action. This is the truth, the whole truth, and it cannot be otherwise. God bless you, my friends.